will find the traces of all of his dark history. And this man was allowed to lie about me, put me on the spot, exaggerate things about my spiritual beliefs, for example, which is funny given some of your best little trolling friends have found Jesus Christ recently, Robbie. Stop with your
Sorry, again,
gaslighting.
it's all about my
You're
friends,
a
isn't it?
truly abhorrent human being.
But
And I'm going to
it's
go
all
and eat
about
my
my friends.
roast
It's
chicken.
nothing about me.
And at 7:30, listen to me, Robbie Travers. I'm going to go and I'm going to eat the roast chicken that my husband made for me. And then at 7:30, I'm going to open up my space that was scheduled for now, but it's going to be late because I'm about to have dinner. If you want to come into that space and finish this conversation, please do so. But for now, I'm all done. I'm going to eat my chicken dinner.
I just think it's very interesting, Kay, that you have said that you did not mention me since May. I think that's demonstrably untrue, and you're aware of that. And I think Kay is very well aware of that. And this is part of the problem, including the abuse that has gone on consistently. Now, what I can reveal to the space is that I have been
Robbie,
informed.
Robbie, hello, Robbie.
Yes,
Kay has
that's
left the
nice. I'm
group. Obviously,
speaking,
she's
please.
gone
Don't
to
interrupt me.
eat.
I'm speaking, please.
No, but 1 second. Anything that you
No.
want to
Excuse
say,
me.
I'd
No,
rather
Excuse
you
me.
come back on her space and say it.
Let
Excuse
Robbie
me.
have a say back, please. Please, Karine. It's only fair.
Okay.
I will
Like, I
now.
just thought,
Excuse
it'd be
me.
better if Kay was there to
Kate's not
hear it.
stupid. She's not stupid. This isn't her first rodeo.
Yeah.
And Robbie's not going to say anything that's going to get him into bother. He's not stupid either.
Well,
Okay, go on, Robbie.
all I'm going to simply say is quite simple. I have been made aware that repeatedly Kay has made claims that I have been investigated or being investigated by Police Scotland. I'm afraid a subject access request that I have undertaken has revealed that this is not true. In fact, it reveals that I have never been mentioned in any complaints. It also reveals that at no stage were any reports made mentioning me or implicating me. So, at this stage, at which there has been alleged police investigations, in which we are also waiting for forensic results back, allegedly, it is very interesting that a police subject access request would reveal that this is not the case. It is also very interesting that officers involved, who then contacted individuals to reassure them that the police were not seeking any further action at any point and did not see any criminality involved, nor were they seeking to further any investigation. I think that's very important, and I think that cuts to the heart of things. And I think for people who have been accused on here of criminal abuse, it might be very interesting to learn that there is, in fact, no active, ongoing criminal investigation. And on that point, I shall leave it because I didn't want to come into a fight. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Bloody hell. I thought we were going to get somewhere. I can't reiterate this enough. Why the hell can't people make it, when somebody's asking something of you because of how they felt, why do people need to make it about other people? If somebody's addressing you, they're making it about you. You don't need to involve other people. It's just noise. You need to take ownership of your own behaviour. You need to take ownership of your own words. And sometimes you also need to take ownership of some words that you may regret that you've said. That's just the way I see it. I am so fed up of all of this. Honest to God, I have only one account and only one name. And I am who I say I am. And I don't have any sock accounts. And I've had my account for 13 years. And in the past 6 months, it's just, I don't know, it's just been mayhem and fighting and horrible, 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 toxic environment. And I've chose to one side I have my Twitter account for my private stuff that I do, and then I have my Twitter account for the likes of this and fun and supposedly I like a bit of drama now and again. Who doesn't like a bit of drama now and again?
Mm.
But not try to ruin people's lives or try to place people in a state of fear or
personal beef and all that crack, yeah.
destroy their reputation or bring their families into it. Targeted harassment to deliberately make people feel really shit about themselves is crap.
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's not, and I just think, I
It's
can
not.
give just as good back. I try and hold back. Yes, I've lost my temper and I've said things. Of course I have. I've called people freaks and weirdos, sad bastards.
I think we all have, Caroline,
But I've never,
on here, people can be so nasty with words, and because we hear them horrible words, we give them horrible words back. Do you know what I mean? It's
true. But yeah, it's just,
it all comes down to what you were saying before, like, people can't debate and talk about things anymore.
no, and people don't want to understand things because they've formed their own narrative, right? We're all kind of guilty of doing that to some degree, right? But there's been debates I've had on here with people who necessarily probably wouldn't ever engage with in real life, in my working life, in my leisure life, or any other manner, shape, or form apart from online. And I've had really heated debates. And do you know what? They've convinced me to rethink, reassess, relook, reanalyse. And I've thought, do you know, they're actually right. And I've come back on and said, do you know, you've changed my view on that. However, here's a little bit of tweaking I want to do, and that's fine, but too many people don't know how to do that, and these are the types of people that just will not get along with other people, and that's just the sad reality of life. And then you get people that are just downright bloody horrible, that will target somebody and deliberately make them feel like shit, make their lives crap, start impeding on their real life, stalking them in real life. It's not, that's crossing boundaries as far as I'm concerned. When people's lives are starting to become, it's impeding on their private life, their family life, their work life, then, you have then become somebody who is targeting, harassment and stalking somebody. And for me, that's a boundary well and truly crossed. And if the police don't do anything about it, then you just have to keep on hounding the police until they do. And eventually the police have to. They have to act upon continual complaints.
Hi, everyone. I'm back just
Hi.
for a minute, right? I haven't had my dinner yet. It's on the plate, so I need to make this brief. I had to take a minute there to cool off because that man triggers the most horrific response in me. I can't even put it into words, right? If you've ever been a victim of narcissistic abuse, you know the feeling that I'm talking about. That's how he makes me feel. So I had to leave and take a breath. But I wanted to come back on some, in amongst all the bullshit he was talking. I didn't hear what he had to say in reply to me after I left. I consciously did not listen to that for the sake of my health and well-being. So I'm just jumping in now to pick up on something that he said, which is that the awful words that I used to describe his friend Binky, who, yeah, I've fully admitted I've never deleted anything. It's all there. If anyone wants to go and research it, I called her a barren slag. And the reason that happened, because context is everything, right? We were all justifying the N word and the P word earlier. So give me a moment. That woman, the first line of her bio is something like immodest serial bride. I think that's it, right? So she clearly has no qualms about the fact she's been married multiple times. The first time I bonded with her in a DM, it was her talking about her multiple weddings. And one of the things that we bonded over was the fact that we share the same anniversary, the exact same anniversary. The last time we were married was the 6th of June, 2006, right? So we had that in common. And it was one of the things that made me kind of connect with her. Our relationship changed over the course of the months. I felt that some of her behaviour towards me was a little bit coercive in DMs, and I am much like Caroline. We're built very similarly, although I'm a bit more of a softie at heart, I think. But Caroline and I are both very firm in our positions and not easily swayed. Okay, so I didn't like that sort of behaviour. Then she started to follow me around a lot. Okay, so there was an initial falling out. The details don't matter; they're boring. But there was a falling out, and instead of her moving on, she opted to sit as a sniper in all of my spaces, occasionally request speaker, dilly dally, waste time. She often sounded incoherent. She would blabber, and there were long, excruciating pauses. She never really seemed to get to the point. And to me, it felt that she was sending herself in there, or potentially coerced by Robbie Travers, to stall and create more irritation so that nobody could ever get to the point of what they were speaking about, right? And that woman, what she did to me was she contacted one of my neighbours, okay? She reached out to my ex neighbour. Then, after having a big old gossip session with her about my life, my private personal life, they all had a big space together to discuss what a piece of shit I am. Now, I haven't heard a single word from that space. I never listened to any recordings, snippets. As I've said for the longest time, my friends know not to send me anything relating to what these people say and do about me, this obsession, this unhealthy obsession that they all have. Binky followed me around for the longest time. She tried to intercept a friendship with a man, Gary, who I was really friendly with on here, and we're still friends privately, but he no longer uses Twitter. He was one of the first people to witness what they were doing to me and see the evidence of it way back in, I'm talking September, October 2023. Culminating in a bit of a standoff between me and Robbie Travers in January of 2024. Okay, when I confronted him with evidence, screenshots of conversations he had had about me, where he was clearly orchestrating this smear campaign and this attack against me, and the driving force, the fuel that he used, was my spiritual beliefs. And I'm not going to ramble about that, because actually I'm one of those spiritualists who doesn't try to recruit anyone into my way of thinking. I've never been like that. Okay. My spirituality was something that was very private, and it is a part of my professional work. And I have never brought that to Twitter. I have never brought that to the subject matter that I discuss on my page, which is trans ideology. I'd never done any of that. And Robbie justified this orchestrated smear campaign against me because he had to warn people about my delulu. You know, he had to warn people that I have spiritual beliefs. It doesn't matter that a lot of people in his little friendship circle might be Christian, Jewish, you know, might have some sort of organized religion that they follow. That's perfectly fine for Robbie Travers, but not me having my own private and personal spiritual belief that I've never, ever tried to discuss on here until he put it out there for all the world to see. And then I embraced it because I'm not ashamed of who I am, and I have a backbone. I hate that man, and that woman, Binky, is one of his highly misguided handmaidens. And the thing that triggered me about what Robbie Travers said when he referenced her, as usual, because he uses her as a shield against his misogyny and his bullshit and his abusive nature all the time, right? But what bothered me was he said that I owe her an apology. Well, Robbie, you and your little friend Binky know that I did apologise for that. I was disgusted with the words I used to describe the immodest stereo bride, calling her a barren slag, a childless woman who, by the way, had a lot to say about my parenting skills when her friend was creating sock accounts that had manipulated images of my son. Right? So when I listen to a childless woman tell me that I need to brush up on my parenting skills, oh, you bet she's fucking barren. And if she's been married a handful of times,